ghetto walls. First have a look. Do you recognize these half circles up there? Does it remind you of anything that we saw even today, actually, this upper part of the wall? Exactly, like the headstones in the old Jewish cemetery. And this is probably the way of saying to those who were inside the walls of the ghetto that this is going to be your tomb. This was the way to humiliate these people. Usually, actually, this new German administration have actually ordered to build these walls themselves, actually, just like that's for them. Their own tombstone. Their own tombstone, their own tomb, you could say. Very, very humiliating. And then, tell me, what do you think? We are standing inside or outside the ghetto right now? Yes, exactly. You can see if you take a few steps back, you may see actually buildings that used to be in the ghetto as well, almost unchanged because they didn't actually, those buildings up there didn't underwent any renovations since that time, so they're really pretty much in a very bad shape, we would say. As for the ghetto, there were a few survivors from the ghetto, not many. There were about 1,000 people who were on the so-called Schindler's List, and also, so this was kind of an evacuation list from Krakow, and they went with Oskar Schindler to the place which is called Moravia region, right now in Czech Republic. Then it was occupied Czechoslovakia. And also, a few dozens of people survived here because they had the chance to actually exit the place through the set of canals, sewers underneath the city. You know, basically you could enter the sewer system and then go, for example, towards the area of the river. Many of them, well, there were not many of those lucky guys, but some were. And for example, my friend told me such a story. Annually, in March, every time in March, there is a so-called March of Remembrance here, commemorating the liquidation of the ghetto. People gathered, for example, also here at this spot. Many survivors, some survivors from the ghetto actually. Also many locals, usually mayor of the city of Krakow, chief of the local Jewish commune, sometimes ambassador of Israel. And then, such a story happened once in 2006 that my friend told me. He saw a scene like that. There were, hundreds of people actually gathered here, and there were also amongst them two women. In the first place, it seemed that they didn't know each other actually at all. They were in their 70s, elderly women. And then, as the time passed, as this March of Remembrance went on, they spotted each other. They started crying actually. They hugged each other. The reaction was basically so hysterical that people started asking them, "What's this all about?" And then these two women have told all the rest here their story. What was that? Well, they came to that March of Remembrance not really remembering each other actually, and they were both survivors from the ghetto times here. They escaped the ghetto from Krakow, the Krakowian ghetto, in 1943 through these sets of canals underneath the city. Here, they were separated. They didn't see each other for 63 years up until that moment during that March of Remembrance. That's why the reaction was so emotional. I really hope such stories still happen today in the world right now. Well, maybe. And then, second thing, one more short story. There was once a famous survivor from the ghetto who had gotten himself false documents so that he could actually escape the ghetto. And his name was Raimund Thierry. He's right now quite famous, worldwide known director. I believe you may know his name, although Raimund Thierry doesn't ring a bell. Exactly, because this guy changed his name, and right now he's known